A Moment with Dr. AudreyAnn Moses.
Hello, 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 everybody. This is Dr. AudreyAnn Moses. Again, in March, we are talking about reading appreciation. So, throughout the whole month, that's what we've been talking about. So, this is Dr. AudreyAnn Moses, and this is a moment with Dr. AudreyAnn, and we are featuring the Author's March. And so today I have two phenomenal women that are women of God. They are authors. They are promoters of authors. They are helpers of authors. They are wipe authors, tears women, and so I want to introduce you to them. Miss Queenie Clem, she's not far from me. I could reach out and touch her. And Miss Chanelle Coleman-Westley. And she's a little bit further away, but we still got internet and phones, so we reach out and touch each other as well. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to talk about what it is that they can do for you as a reader and as an author. Miss Queenie?
All right, I'm Miss Queenie Clem, known as the Literary Ambassador. I am from South Carolina. First and foremost, I am a woman of God. Mm-hmm. I am a avid book reader, beta reader, book reviewer, and I promote authors, and now I'm a virtual assistant. I've been an educator for over 30 years now, and thank you for having me today.
Amen. Miss Chanelle?
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. AudreyAnn, for having us on the platform today. I'm excited to be here. My name is Chanelle Coleman-Westley. I am a best-selling author, international speaker, media personality, coach, MC, and more. And I'm happy to be able to provide some insights, some tips, tricks, and strategies, both for our, accomplished authors as well as aspiring authors.
Yes. So, Miss Queenie, I want to talk about reading before we start talking about authors. So, for readers, we know that reading is fundamental. We know that, and anybody that's living today should realize how fundamental reading is because of all the stuff that's going on in our administration. And not just this year, but last year and the year before and the year before and the year before and the year before. Since the beginning of time, there has been something going on that if you didn't know how to read, you missed something, So now, Miss Queenie, the students that you work with, don't laugh. The babies love you. But the students that you work with, how do you get them? What type of techniques do you use to help them to understand that how important reading is?
Okay, again, I've been in the education field for 30 years, but in the last 2 years, I took a non-instructional position, but I still deal with 15 to 30 kids a day. And what I have in my room is I have a bookshelf of books, and I also have a sign that says, Miss Clement reads blank amount of books so far this year. And like today, they was like, it's still sitting on the same number it was back in August. Why aren't you reading? So that's really my motivation for getting the kids to read. And then I have like little sayings all over the room, talks about books, quotes about books. So they see it all around them. So that's really one of the ways I motivate, but I got to get back up on my reading.
And one thing that Miss Queenie, I call her Miss Queenie. And one thing that Miss Queenie does is she'll post like, I'm reading such and such. What are you reading? And so then we all have to put something. And usually she doesn't want to hear, oh, I'm reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because we're supposed to be reading the Bible anyway. So she wants to know outside of that, what are you reading? So, we better be reading something. So, we get to post. Now, these are authors. So, because it's good for us to read other people's stuff as well, So, and be reading something out, even outside of our genre, but, because we want to keep ourselves intellectually sound, along with the rest of the world. So, read the newspaper, read something. So, Miss Chanelle, how do you, if you're working with young people, well, it doesn't matter if it's young people or older people, whatever generation you might be, because you work with the whole spectrum. So whatever generation you're working with that day, how do you help them to understand the importance of reading?
I love the question. Reading is definitely fundamental. I think it's something that we just try to show the importance of and the relevancy of reading, being able to impact our youth, doing different youth summits, being able to talk about the fact that we are trying to inspire and instigate reading for our next impact event that we have coming up. We're going to actually challenge the girls, to those who are interested, to actually participate in being a co-author, because I am going to do a mini anthology with the girls, because I want them to see the power in words.
Right.
And I want them to be able to understand that your words can live beyond your life, and they can go out and impact and touch people who you might not be in the same space, that you might not live in the same area, you may live across the world, but your words can travel and they have a life of their own. And not only are they able to inspire, motivate, and empower, but they're also able to help to build you a business and a brand. So I want them to be able to understand and own that power.
Right. So now for both of you, like I know Miss Chanelle, she works mainly with women. And I know that Miss Queenie works with men and women, but mainly women, right, Miss Queenie?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you all help? Well, how can we help men and boys to understand that reading is fundamental for them as well? Don't all speak at once.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I have my mic muted. You know what? I'm excited about that question, because I feel like, we really have to be able to help our boys and our young men to see that they are needed, that their thoughts are vital. When you think about our history and all the prolific people that we've had to speak out on things and who've actually been able to write. I'm excited because I'm trying to build some things now that actually have a component for young males, because I had a parent when we did the girls summit. They're like, you should do something like this for boys. She said, I have a son. And I'm like, I have sons as well. And so I'm starting to be intentional about doing that. And so, like I said, there's something that I plan on taking to the classrooms, which is more of a unisex environment. I'm working with my children's school to be able to do a program where I'm also able to talk about what I do as an author, but also have that same opportunity for their class and their school to be able to do the same thing, which is with the anthology, because I feel like it's so powerful to be able to help them to see that, this person can tell part of a story, this person can say something, this other person can say something, and now you have a whole. First you had all these fractions, but together it makes up this wonderful whole.
Right, it does. And by me, I'm a boy mom and a boy grandmom and a boy great grandmom. So so it's like, I have 10 grandkids and 2 of them are girls.
Wow.
So it's like, what do you do with the boys? I know I used to send them, I always sent my grandkids autographed copies of my books, because I wanted them to have, so they each have at least 1 or 2 of my books. And so when I'm talking to my grands, I'm like, okay, so did you read the book? Um, 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 so it's like, okay, read the book, because I'm gonna ask you some questions about the book,
There you go.
So, because I want them to read. And when they were little, I always bought, when I was, they had the highlight magazines, and I had them subscriptions to that, and I had subscriptions for Dr. Seuss and who knows what, you know, to make sure they had enough books. But so what do you think, Miss Queenie? What could we do for the boys?
For my grandson, I started the subscription of the Dolly Parton imagination station. I think that's how you say it, library. And she gives books to boys and girls 0 to 5 years old every month. So my grandson just turned 2, and it finally came in my area where they're been delivering. I got my first book a couple of weeks ago. But far as my students, when I see a young boy not reading, I ask him, what is he interested in? And he'll say some type of sport. There's books out there.
Right.
I always throw out the African-American male authors that I know. One in particular that does young fiction. I talk about him. I say, if you want to read his book, I give them the synopsis. If they like it, I reach out to authors and ask, can you send me a book that one of my students read? And that's how I do it with the boys.
Right. And that's good. I ordered my sons the Junior Sports Illustrated, and they got that book until they were like 17 or 18, you know, and I bought the subscription for them when they were young, because I couldn't get them to read. But then when I got that, and I got one son was more into sports than the other one. And so what I did was I ordered the Junior Sports Illustrated and the Junior Black Enterprise. And so both of those books was in my house till they were like, you know, gone from my house. And then that's what they read. And they were both, you know, and there was stuff in there that interests both of them. So I was able to still be able to help both of them to see how important reading is. And they do both read a lot. My youngest son reads more than my oldest, but I think as my oldest gets older, he's getting more into reading than he did when he was younger. So I'm still happy about that, you know. So when authors need help, if authors tell me they need help, depending on what they need, there's 4 people four people, unless it's a publisher, then it's only one person. But there are 4 people that I would give them the name and phone number to, and 2 of them are on here. So Miss Chanelle.
Well, thank you. That's really sweet for you to say.
So now what I want you all to do is to tell them why I give them your names.
Go ahead.
Don't say you don't know.
Okay. So I'll say this. I think it is when you're an author, sometimes you have a book and it's like a puzzle. You don't know what to do with it. And back in the day, I grew up with the show Transformer, you know, and so the Transformer initially, like Optimus Prime, he would be the truck, and then he would morph from the truck to the, you know, to who he is and his being. And so and even Voltron, you know, they were different cats, and they could put something together and come with now this big image. So many times, you know, you're thinking about your book. Okay, you write your book. What do I do with it now? Sometimes we think of it just as a book, and that's all it can be. But your book can be so many things outside of the book. The book can be a play. It could be a monologue. It could be a guide. It could be a course. It can be a platform. It can be anything you want it to, you know, to be. There's so many different things that you can do with your book. And, you know, how do I know that? I know that because I did that with my book. You know, I do events from it, virtual events. I do all type of things that go around the platform of the book. So, you know, you're only limited as what your mind can see. If you look at the book and you can only see the book, then you have to ask God to open up your eyesight and allow you to see what's not visibly there or plainly there in plain sight, but it's there. And if you still can't see, then it means you need to connect with somebody who can help you see, well, this is what
Right.
we could do with this book, and it can form into this, and it can become merchandise, and it can do this, so you have to be able to have those things to be able to expand, because now they take your words to a totally different level and to a
Right.
different audience, and it
Right.
allows you to be able to connect with people on a different, in a different sphere, in a
level.
different zone. It really does. And so
Yeah.
that's some of the things that I do with authors. And so most times authors are often speakers. And so it just kind of segues into what I like to do as well. So
Yeah.
that's how I help people. And that's probably why you would tell people to talk to me.
Yes, that's why. So, Miss Queenie.
Well, the best-selling author, blessed-selling author, E.N. Joy, named me the literary ambassador because I was always going to her trainings, her workshops. I'm always going to something, trying to learn how the craft. Even though I am a reader, just moved into the authorship, but training, learning, going to workshops, reading, research, and that's how I began to find out things, and authors reach out to me for different things as far as promotions, how to run this, being a virtual assistant. They need help with stuff on the back end while they're doing their writing to relieve some time up, that type of thing.
So okay, so I'm gonna tell you what they do for me. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what they do for me. Okay. And so they do everything they just said. So if you're an author and you are like, I need, more than likely, one of these two women can figure the rest of it out for you, and help you to know where to go. Now, they're not going to do the work for you, but they will make sure you're going in the right direction, which is what we need. And like I said, there's two other promoters the same way. You call them and they're on it. So and you want to find people like that and you want to have them in your circle, because they are a hair saver. They are a hair saver, because there are times when I know that, like, I'm working on a book now that's gonna be out here soon. And so I'm like halfway through it. So last night I was saying, okay, I need to call Chanelle because I'm halfway through this book. And I need to call Miss Queenie because I'm halfway through this book. Because Miss Queenie, what she does is she starts promoting your book. She'll ask you like a bunch of questions, and it's like, look, you've been knowing me for how long? You know the answers, but she makes you write out all the answers anyway. And Chanelle does the same thing. Write out all the answers and send it to them, and then they start promoting your book, and they make these cute little flyers that they put on Facebook and Instagram and whatever, and they send it to you so you can email it to all your friends and your grandma and whatever. And so that everybody knows that you have a book coming out. If you get stuck, then you can call them and they can help you get unstuck. If you're having an issue trying to figure out how to make your plot do what your brain wants it to do, or vice versa, they can help you with that. It's, in fact, I had stopped writing my book because the book that I'm writing is going to be in a journal format. And so I got to a point and I was like, the book is not finished, but I want it to be done. So I just kind of left it alone for a while and was working on other things. So I started working on it last night, and I went back and I'm like, oh, this is weird. So I had to change things around, which is what authors do, and so, but now I'm at a point where I can keep going with the journal, so, and so they help you to be able to get from that unstuck. It's like, for me, I'm a psychologist, I'm a Christian coach. So my job is to get you unstuck emotionally, to get you unstuck in your personal growth. Well, their job helps you get unstuck in your author world, and when you're looking at that screen and nothing's popping up on it, or when you are trying to make a flyer and it looks like a 2-year-old made it, and you're wanting it to look nice so that people will be interested in your book, that's who you call. You call Miss Chanelle, you call Miss Queenie, and again, like I said, you find people in your world that can help you with those things. So that's what they do. They are phenomenal women, and I love them to death. So I want everybody to kind of know who they are and why they exist in this world for me. Because other than the fact that they love me, they know I love them.
Absolutely, love you too.
But that's why they exist in the world for me, because they really do help me out a lot. So now, Miss Queenie, earlier you said that you are a new author. Now, she's been helping authors for a long time. But now she is a new author. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And tell us about your book.
It is the 5th book in the Catch series of Dr. Valma's. It's the 30-day Wild Women of Worth Affirmations Journal.
Can y'all see it? There it is.
I got on my wild shirt too, just in case I don't know if they can see it. I got my wild shirt on.
That's it.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
It was nerve-wracking at first, but Dr. Valma brought me off the ledge.
She's good at that.
She's good at that. Yeah.
Because I was on the edge about to jump off. But the Lord told her that I'll be writing a book, co-authoring a book with her, and there it is.
Yeah. Okay. So now, Miss Queenie is very modest.
She is.
She's very modest. Her goal in life is to help other people, not talk about herself. So I'm gonna help her. But this book, you got to buy this book. And it's called, and like you said, it's called From the Catch series, 30-Day Wild, WOW, Women of Worth Journal. And what it is, it's literally a 30-day journal, so you have something to read. I'm trying to make sure you all can see this. Let me see. Well, it's not working. But anyway, it's something you can read, and then you write your little notes right here. You write your little notes right here about this and the Bible scripture that's in here. Each page has a little note, and it has Bible scriptures. And so you can read those, write down your notes, write down your prayers, or whatever it is you need in order to help you through. And it's for 30 days. And it is wonderful. And so like this says day 9. And the one thing I like about it, it's not dated. So day 9 can be day 9 today, and it can be day 9 6 months from now, because 6 months from now, when you go back to look at it and read it again, you can add to the notes that you had originally, So this one is affirmation. I am walking by faith, believing that what I ask, I will receive. And then it has these Bible scriptures, and then you just write on it. So her first book, I'm so proud of her. And you all have to get this on Amazon, or either you can get in touch with Miss Queenie and get an autograph copy.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's it, Miss Queenie. And see, Miss Chanelle, she's written like 500 books. So
not that many. I'm working on it though, Dr. Audrey. I thank you for speaking it into fruition.
Yeah, and so I have to tell you, I met both of these women because Miss Chanelle had a summit, and it was for women. All women came on, and what was it called? So I know it was Say Yes to Yourself. She
said yes to herself unapologetically. That book title.
The summit, yeah. And so everything she does she says yes to herself unapologetically, and then it's whatever it is. And so you can't help but find her. But this summit was phenomenal. It was 2 or 3 days, and I was blessed to be able to be one of the speakers, and it was just a bunch of women really pouring into each other, and it was phenomenal. So that's how I met them. And this was like now 3 years ago or something. Like, it's been a while, and that's how I met both of these women. And so I am just so happy that I was able to be able to have them in my world, and that they accepted me literally into their world. So I was really happy about that. But just in the few minutes, because time flies when you're having fun.
I know,
Actually,
right?
But
actually, we met before then. We actually met
oh
in
yeah,
person.
you and I did. Yeah.
Met in person. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right,
scared of
because
y'all.
we met in person because she had a
Miss
Miss
Rebecca had a book fair.
Rebecca, yes, had a little book festival, and it was really fun. So that is right. I had met you before then, and then I just had the pleasure of meeting Chanelle back in October.
Yep.
In person. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of friends that we in the author world that we meet online, and we meet through email, and then some days we are blessed to actually meet in person.
Yes.
So
And I
that's
want to say Dr. AudreyAnn is just as lovely in person as she is online. Just a true, genuine, God-fearing woman. Just it felt like we had just been together for forever.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So before we leave, I'd like for you all to tell people how to find you. I am going to put all of your information on my YouTube page, but for right now, I want you all to tell everybody how to find you.
Right. Well, Dr. AudreyAnn Moses, again, thank you. It's been a pleasure being on the show today. Thank you so very much for having us on. My name is Chanelle Coleman-Westley. They can find me on all handles, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or TikTok, Chanelle Coleman-Westley. If they're looking to be able to get some help with those videos and things like that to help celebrate their book business.
Yes.
And thank you again, Miss AudreyAnn.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Queenie Clem, or the literary ambassador on all platforms. And I do have a blog, at www.queenieclem.com. That's my website. And thank you for having me.
Yeah. And I love her blog. It's always something. It's always something that she's writing about that is like, okay, I needed this today. Thank you, Miss Queenie. So I love her blogs. So I'm trying to be like her, but I'm just a little slow. So, but I'm trying to be like her, But so I think that the last thing I wanted to do was to tell you all how grateful I am. And I know I've been saying it throughout the show, but how grateful I am that you all agreed to come on, and that we were able to find a time that worked for both of you. And I just wanted to say that in everything that I do, I pray and I ask God to bring someone in my life that is going to be a God-fearing person, that's going to be fun to hang out with, and that's going to teach me something. And I can honestly say that God answered all 3 of those prayers when I met the 2 of you. So I am just really grateful for your presence in my life. And I just want to tell you all that you all are welcome on my show anytime. And the 2 of them are the reason why I even have this show. Because you need to do a show. You need to do a show of your own. So I'm doing one now, So
Congratulations.
And
I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Feel the same way. I love you.
Yeah. Thank you. So we've run out of time, unfortunately. And so I will be seeing you all later. And I thank you all for joining us. And if you have any questions or comments, just put them in the comments, and I'll make sure the ladies get your questions. And also their information will be in the description here on YouTube. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.